All right, Dre, let's do this.
Let's do it, Harrison.
Spirit Week rolls on. Friday, a casual Friday.
Love it.
Here on the DNVR Nuggets Podcast. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the DNVR Nuggets Podcast. That's where you do the air horn. There we go. We are live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores.
This was on it.
Toyota is the official vehicle of DNVR, and a casual Friday
D-Line's in the chat.
edition of the show. D-Line has been in the chat all week.
Yeah, he misses us dearly. It's really, if we could combine the two worlds, you know, a little DNVR Serbia pod or SRB. I don't know what the abbreviations would be for
probably on the right track.
Serbia Nuggets. You know, that'd be really ideal for Eric right there.
Absolutely. Spirit Week rolls on, and Friday, our final day of Spirit Week.
Yes.
It's been a really fun week. Shout out to everybody who's donated to Big Brothers Big Sisters.
It's been so cool.
Did you see what the official donation tally is at lately?
Yeah. Yes.
Is that like 14,000?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
So we've raised like almost $15,000, I think it is, throughout all of ALLCITY for Big Brothers Big Sisters. First time we've really done anything like this.
So cool, man.
And it's been really cool to see everybody get on board. So shout out to everybody who's donated. Shout out to everybody who donated yesterday. And yeah, I got my guy Andre here.
Hell yeah, man. Dude, what a pleasure. What
the fellas
a pleasure.
dipped out on me this week, so I had to call you in.
Crazy, yeah. At least D-Line's in the chat. Don't see Adam or Vote in there. You know,
I don't think you'll see
they're a little more off. I respect it, honestly. And yeah, then the more fellas going to the ballpark tonight, huh?
We are going to the Rockies game tonight.
Endless fun, endless diehard interactions for us today.
For Friday Rooftop Club. If you want to come to the Rockies game with us tonight, not to watch the Rockies, although they've been a little hot.
Kind of hot.
The bats have been hot. We're going to the Cherry Cricket around 5 and then over to the game tonight.
That's right.
As a crew. So hit me up if you want to come.
Hell yeah.
On today's show, we're going to have, a bunch of diehards calling in like we always do on Friday in a little bit. I know we already got some people in the queue, and that's the theme of today's show, Die Hard Day here at DNVR and at ALLCITY. Nothing really changes for us because we do this show every Friday.
That's right.
So
what a great show you guys put on.
Yeah, we will get to that soon.
How long did it take for the jelly bean flavor to wash out of your mouth?
Oh, from yesterday?
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, a little bit.
It seemed like the puke was far worse than the stink bug.
Yeah, puke was worse than the stink bug.
That's rough.
Yeah. I think we want to try that with some other people in the office.
Yeah.
There's some interesting
I think that's a good call.
I
think that's a good call.
Should we go to some hangover takes from the finals last night?
Let's do it.
Game 6 of the finals. Wow. Thunder Pacers. A blowout win by the Pacers last night.
Who would have thunk it?
You watched.
I did.
What's your biggest takeaway from that game?
Pacers did what no one's really been able to do so far and get that huge lead on the Thunder. The never die Thunder, who even with the Nuggets, push to the brink, but they never let you get that 20-point lead. They always stay within reach and come back, and the Pacers actually surpassed that threshold, got that 20-point lead, put them, out of reach early enough. And I think that makes a fairly big difference going into this Game 7.
Yeah.
Which I think is going to be really tight. I think here's a hot take for you. I think when you have two fan bases that have never won a title before, it might be a disadvantage to play Game 7 at home.
Really? You think the fans will channel their nervous energy to the team?
Yes, I think that tension in the arena will be palpable.
Yeah.
And it would be in Indiana as well.
I think it would be too. It'll be interesting. Like, I still expect the Thunder to win Game 7.
Yes.
But, I mean, how can you count out Indiana at all, even with Tyrese Halliburton on one leg?
Mm-hmm.
Like, last night was just incredible.
Yeah.
This is what's so cool about this series, man. It just kind of reminds you what's so awesome about sports.
Mm-hmm.
People always ask me this, like, you know, what's it like covering the Nuggets? What's it like going to games? And I always say the best thing about it is when I'm walking to the arena or I'm getting ready to watch a game, I say to myself, well, I wonder what Nikola Jokic is going to do tonight. Mm-hmm. You know, is he going to do just something absolutely historic? Is he going to set some unbelievable record, unbelievable mark that we've never seen before? You just never quite know. And this series is just a reminder of that, man. You never quite know what's going to happen. That's what makes sports so great. I feel like the NBA desperately needed this series. They needed this series to go 6 or 7 games.
The last several playoffs, I think, have really been, it's honestly not talked about enough, the kind of parity we have seen as of late in the NBA. And this series has been a phenomenal showcase of that. You're right. Everyone just assumed it was going to be a sleepy blowout series by the Thunder, and all the conversation was just going to be about small markets and TV ratings, and it hasn't been that at all. It's actually been some phenomenal basketball, some phenomenal players being showcased, some phenomenal young teams, and really excited fan bases. So yeah, it's been I mean, the NBA is having a moment, though maybe it doesn't feel like that in Nuggets land sometimes.
Yeah.
As of late.
Yeah, the Nuggets not making a lot of noise anywhere right now.
No.
But that's okay. Here's another
Truly
take from
sleepy.
last night. The Thunder, this was a blowout. I mean, this was a game that wasn't close after halftime. It wasn't close after points during the second quarter.
Yeah.
The Thunder now, this is their third game they've lost by double digits in these playoffs. It's the 7th game overall in the playoffs that they've lost. It's just a reminder to me how special the Nuggets run in 2023 was.
Yeah.
Do you know what the Nuggets' biggest margin of defeat was in a game throughout the 2023 playoffs on the way to a championship? What was the biggest amount they lost by?
I feel like there was a blowout-ish game in that Suns series. I'll say 16 points.
7.
Whoa, really?
Biggest margin of defeat was 7
crazy.
points.
Well,
Game 3 against Phoenix.
It was such a fever dream, and it was one of those runs where even though everything was on the line, I never felt some real massive tension the way I have the last couple postseasons, right?
Right.
It was just such a smooth run.
Yeah.
The doubt never crept in. It was beautiful.
I just think it puts that Nuggets team in a little more perspective, man. I mean, look, you can talk about the level of opponent that they played. Look, I mean, the Thunder are going up against a Pacers team that was not regarded as a finals contender heading into the playoffs. They were the 4 seed. So it's not, I don't think the competition's been that much different, but I just think it's a reminder that, like, that Nuggets run was so special. 16-4, and the biggest margin of defeat was 7 points. It's crazy.
Pretty wild. They were incredible. So wait, the Thunder have had double-digit leads 3 games, or have lost by double digits 3 games this postseason?
Correct. Yeah.
7 games all season.
7 game. They've lost 7 games in the playoffs.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that's nuts. I didn't realize they didn't have a single double-digit loss.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
I got to rewatch that.
I did see Scott Foster's on the call for Game 7, or at least that's the rumor. I actually don't even know if that's true. I just saw that. It's probably not true.
That's just the internet's a buzz. The bad signal's out, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Get Scott Foster to do this right. If you're the NBA, though, wouldn't you rather the Pacers win? Isn't that almost the better storyline?
Yeah, what's best for the NBA?
Like, you really don't care about the Thunder. They'll be a juggernaut for years.
SGA. That's probably their best move.
Are they that invested in that? Dude barely smiles. He's not exactly Mr. Charisma either, though I know my Twitter feed tells me he's dripping with aura or whatever the kids say. So that's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really good. Yeah.
Anything else from these finals? I mean, what's been kind of just, some of your takes from these last couple rounds of the playoffs?
I'm in this weird spot where I'm kind of rooting for the Thunder for some Nugget validation.
Yeah.
And yet the Pacers are as fun a team to watch go on a run in the NBA playoffs as an unbiased observer since that Mavs team that beat the Heat, which was 12 years ago? 2013?
Yeah.
What the Pacers are doing is otherworldly. They'd be one of the longest shot champions in betting god history.
Right. They would definitely be the unlikeliest champion of my lifetime for sure.
And to do what they did last night with Halliburton limited is just insane.
Yeah, he seemed more limited to me than AG was in Game 7.
And the way Siakam and Miles Turner, Obi Toppin, TJ McConnell, the way these guys are stepping up.
Actually, I don't know about that. Maybe about the same.
Yeah. The Pacers to me are the real storyline. It's wild what they're doing.
I was rooting for the Thunder up until the Pacers started to make it a series. Because it would have been cool, for our agendas if the Nuggets were the only team to push the Thunder.
Yeah, right. But that is gone.
Once that
is
went
gone.
out the
It's
window.
It's a good point.
Once that went out the window, I was like, all right, let's just go for the Pacers here.
Yeah, no doubt. A little ABA pride,
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Nuggets offseason? I haven't really talked to you about this on the show,
Harrison?
but no GM.
Yeah.
The draft is on Wednesday. It does seem very likely that the Nuggets won't have their front office in place by then. Even if they do, can't imagine.
Is Josh making the picks here? Luckily, there's no picks to be made, so I guess it's call out your invites for summer camp.
Yeah, but just from your perspective, a Nuggets fan who's observing this, you usually have a pretty level-headed approach on this stuff. What's your panic meter at?
I guess it's pretty neutral. I'm very interested to get this GM hire done.
Yeah.
I do think it's a little suspicious, odd, not ideal to not have a GM in place just yet. I'm excited.
It's a little odd. Yes.
Come on.
Absolutely.
I'm excited for the draft. I think even if the Nuggets don't have a pick, there'll be a lot of things going down in the West. And I'm optimistic by how things will shake out in free agency. I think ultimately they're not going to make a ton of big moves. I think their options are limited, which might also be why they're running it back. Well, obviously not running it back at head coach, but in some ways running it back. Maybe in less of an urgency mode with this front office. And I just think the CBA and the contracts they have on the books, they're a bit limited in what they can do. They'll add on the margins, and if they're smart, I think they still will have a chance to compete. But this offseason, I don't know. There's not much to get excited about.
Not yet, for sure.
Bit of a sleepy offseason so far, Harrison. I'm excited for some De'Aaron Holmes ball in Summer League if he plays.
Yeah. That's something to look forward to for sure.
I'm scouting undrafted free agent options. I'm doing my work. Whatever keeps me happy. Keeping going as a Nuggets fan.
I think where the Nuggets GM search is at right now, I do think they're searching. I do think they're, doing interviews, reaching out, calling people, whatever it might be. It doesn't seem like it's all going to come together necessarily before the draft, which is crazy.
No way. Has this week flipped it to where maybe a couple weeks ago you were more inclined to think they were going internal, and now as it keeps drawing out, it almost has to be an external hire at this point?
Yeah. I think
the timing would make no sense if it was internal, right?
If it's not external and they promote somebody from within to be their top decision maker, I think it's safe to say the search was a disaster.
Right.
Like they weren't able to land anybody.
Right. That should be a greater indicator that things went like south in a hurry in this search.
And I mean, that would be an unmitigated disaster for sure. So we'll see. I mean, maybe they make announcements on Monday or something, but I don't know. It's been pretty quiet.
If you had to put odds, what would be favorite? Announce the GM before the draft or after the draft at this point?
I mean, I don't know.
What
I don't
likely?
think the Nuggets are concerned about the timeline. I actually don't. That's the sense I get. I don't think they're overly worried about getting everything lined up and in place before the draft because they know they're not doing anything on draft night, even though the rest of the league is. And I don't think this is the correct approach. Like, that's not what I'm saying.
Right.
I don't think this is the right decision for them, but I don't think they're that worried about getting everything in place before the draft. I just don't. I think they're just focused on hiring the right person and the right people to fill out the front office. And when that happens, it will happen. That's the sense I get, at least.
How this is playing out, I think the facts would agree with you.
Yeah. All right, let's hit a break. And on the other side, I'm going to reveal my top 10 realistic free agent targets for the Nuggets. Put together a little big board, top 10 list.
Let's go.
Of realistic free agent targets, and then we'll get to our Diehard Collins.
Shout out to our new sponsor at Cake Mortgage. They are an awesome partner. They are not your regular mortgage company who needs a W-2 employee. Everything's easy. Show them the paperwork. Bang, bang. We can figure out the terms and everything. This is for your business owners, your creative professionals, your contractors, your tech entrepreneurs, your business founders, freelancers, anyone who kills their own meat as they've got it on the read. I mean, Adam Mars is a great example. Before he got into this business, he was doing real estate stuff, right? So he could really identify with what it is they're trying to do. Cake is the perfect solution for the non-W-2 employee to be able to get you that same type of financing. You can get business owners approved by validating your cash flow through bank statements, certified profit and loss statements, or business tax returns, right? It's sure the other mortgage companies, they like it nice and easy. You just show them the paperwork, send that PDF over, get it printed. Cake can do it in a variety of ways for the much more complex and kind of the more modern professional in a city like Denver, where so many people are working from home, doing their own thing, starting their own business, tech entrepreneurs, that kind of person. They are the perfect partner. So many of the people at our company were like, oh, geez, I could have really known about these guys 6 months ago, 2 years ago, because they would have been perfect for what I needed. You might be in that situation. Check them out. Cake Mortgage Corp, equal housing lender, NMLS number 1734623, licensed in Colorado by the Division of Real Estate. Terms and conditions apply.
And we're also live from the Toyota Lounge, and Toyota is the official vehicle of DNVR.
Heck yeah.
Shout out to Toyota. Trucks have always been a part of their DNA. And Toyota, they've got everything, trucks, cars, SUVs, whatever you need for Colorado or wherever you're at. Toyota is the car for you. 17 models with all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, like the 4Runner. They offer more low and zero emission vehicles combined than any other automaker. And they've got, just amazing cars like the Tundra iForce Max hybrid truck. They've got the RAV4, the Grand Highlander, the 4Runner, like I said, the Tacoma, the Land Cruiser. Visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain State Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of the Denver Nuggets and the official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places.
Let's go.
All right, back here on the DNVR Nuggets podcast.
Yeah, I'm hyped for this, Harrison.
My top 10 realistic free agents. Are you ready?
Big time right here.
So I just put together a little 1 through 10 list. I'll go 10 through 1. These are minimum or slightly above the minimum guys.
Nice.
I mean, maybe the Nuggets dip even below the first apron and, have the full mid-level available. I don't know, but I just put together a list of probably minimum or maybe guys for the taxpayer mid-level exception, kind of the two avenues that the Nuggets will have to add free agents this summer.
Yeah, let's do this.
Are you ready for number 10?
I am. I like that we're going in this order.
Number 10, as I get the list up right here. Mm-hmm. Number 10 is Doug McDermott.
Whoa. What a reverse of fortunes.
Doug McDermott, I mean, for his shooting.
Sure.
Shot 44% from 3 last year off the bench for the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah. Yep. They once had his draft rights and traded those away.
There's a picture of him in a Nuggets hat.
It's legendary. People were very excited and then very sad, and then Gary Harris and Nurkic worked out, so that trade was great. Would be underwhelmed, maybe a little disappointed with Dougie McBuckets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a one-dimensional player. Just shooting is really all he provides.
Yeah.
But it's the Nuggets' biggest weakness. Adding a shooter, I feel like if the Nuggets have any wiggle room with their roster, would be a priority, I would think.
Is he good enough to make an 8-man playoff rotation?
He's good enough to give you spot minutes on occasion in the playoffs, like Julian Strother did this year.
I mean, and look, even 8 minutes of having a different lineup that provides spacing around Yoke, around Jamal, sign me up. Sounds good.
I don't know if you're going to go into free agency and find a playoff rotation player. There's a couple guys on this list I definitely think could be there. Yeah. Most minimum guys, Russell Westbrook was an exception last year. Probably not going to be in your rotation.
For sure.
For the playoffs. All right, number 9 on my list is Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon, another shooter. This is kind of my shooter and not much else category. Yeah. Averaged 20 minutes per game for the 76ers last year. Only played in 39 games, 41% from 3. He's on the real backside of his career.
Yeah.
He's 36 years old.
Yeah. I mean,
I think just for the shooting aspect, he can help in a regular season environment. And, going back to last summer, I had heard that Gordon was the guy the Nuggets considered signing.
Right.
Maybe it was going to be him or Šarić. They chose Šarić. And so I wonder if, Gordon's a guy that's still on their radar.
You think there's still just a smidge of secondary ball handling they can tap into?
Well, that's why I had him above McDermott, because he can at least dribble the ball.
Yep. That's appealing on this team. It really is. Especially if you don't have Russ and you're really in dire straits with the backup ball handling duties. Yeah. Okay. I like that. He's old in the tooth. I remember him getting hype with Derrick Rose and Michael Beasley. And
definitely on the...
That was a long time ago. Long time ago.
Where am I? 8. Number 8 on my list is DeLon Wright. Point guard.
Yeah.
Another veteran.
Yep.
Look, only played in 40 games last year. Uh-huh. But great defender.
Yeah.
Doesn't give you really anything offensively.
Yep.
But a great defender who has a defensive acumen that you could play in the playoffs. He did play in the playoffs for the Knicks.
He'd be lots of fun as kind of... I think they are lacking a bit of a guy like that to come off the bench and give you some energy, bother the opposing ball handler. Yeah. So, you could do a lot worse. He can't be your only answer at backup point guard because I fear you're sacrificing too much offensively. But I'd be in on Wright being part of a 3-man free agency class that you bring in.
Yeah, DeLon Wright's been on the Nuggets free agent list for the last 3 years.
No doubt.
What would you think of a DeLon Wright, Jalen Pickett backup point guard combo?
You could do worse. You could do worse. We're at least in the range of I'm not watching EuroLeague on midweek on like November day and watching Shane Larkin and being like, man, I swear he'd be better than any backup point guard the Nuggets have.
Yeah.
So, hey, it's an upgrade on that, you know? So that's something.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Number 7 on my list is D'Anthony Melton. Coming off a torn ACL.
Not great.
Not great, but was very good in the first 6 games of the season for the Warriors last year.
I mean, he would be a nice profile. He gives you a little... He's kind of like poor man's... If I squint, I can see a poor man's Bruce Brown.
Sure. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm in on that player type.
Guy who can play both backcourt spots, kind of gives you the ball handling, some defense, some playmaking. He's just, when healthy, a solid player.
Yeah, it's investing
another veteran
in a guy the year after the ACL, usually bad bit. You kind of want to get 2 years after.
Yeah. That's why I have him this low. Just a risky signing for sure. He's also a guy that's been plagued by injuries a lot of his career. Number 6 on my list is Luke Kennard.
6?
Probably, arguably, like the best shooter that could be had for maybe that taxpayer mid-level number.
This is a very popular signing. I think Bill Simmons gave this extra traction in the last week or so.
Did he?
Well, I mean, it's one of the guys he's pointed out would make sense for the Nuggets. Excuse me. He makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. 43% from 3 last year on 4 threes per game for the Grizzlies. I can't imagine they're paying big money to bring him back. And yeah, a guy who could slot in with the bench unit and gives you a reliable shooter.
Mm-hmm. Could play in backup line, you know, like that bench lineup. If that was Jamal, Kennard, CB, and P-Watt, I start to feel better about that than like Russ instead of Kennard. That spacing off the bench would really be key.
For sure. Where am I at here? Number 5, Taurean Prince, who I have above Kennard, and I have above those other wings because he can play defense.
Fair. A little bigger, too, if I'm not mistaken.
You know, he could maybe be your Jeff Green type of guy off the bench for next season.
That's an intriguing vision.
He also shot it really well last year in Milwaukee.
Which is huge.
I got to think the Bucks look to keep him. Maybe they don't, and he's on the market.
Okay.
Number 4, Chris Boucher.
Oh.
From Toronto, a guy the Nuggets were rumored to have interest in, and I think did have some interest in at the deadline.
That's right.
Tall, front court player, athletic. I'm not as high on Boucher as a lot of people, but he's better than a lot of guys on this list.
Could he fit in a bench unit that has P-Watt and or Holmes in it? Or did they kind of infringe on each other's?
No, I think he would be your 5 in that scenario. Your undersized 5.
I mean, just having a more athletic big would be so nice.
Yeah.
Just what the doctor ordered, if you ask me.
Number 3, Larry Nance Jr. I'm a big Larry Nance fan. And obviously he's a Jokic respecter. We know that.
Yes.
I think he'll be on the free agent market to be had this summer. And I think he's, you know, more of a quote-unquote winning player than a lot of these guys I have on this list. Just, you know, solid all around, can step out and shoot the 3. He is undersized. Like, I don't think you necessarily want to rely on him as a backup center. But to have him in the mix coming off the bench would be huge.
Yeah, he would make a lot of sense and a bit more of an accomplished vet than kind of anyone else you've brought up. Outside of Mary Gordon, who's maybe too accomplished.
A little long on the tooth.
That's right. No, he'd be really nice. Wyoming connection. Bring Wyoming's finest back in the region.
Yeah, I think he...
Get you some listeners from Laramie.
He did like an Instagram post or something. So maybe he was live for a minute, but he was answering all these questions, and one of the questions was something along the lines of, where do you have the most friends? And he said Denver. Because he's from this area.
Come on.
So.
Be great.
Number 2 on my list is Amir Coffey. I don't know if he'll be able to be had for a minimum. You could probably get him for the taxpayer mid-level if the Clippers let him go. I love Amir Coffey. I think he's super underrated. Great offensive player, and he's 6'7". I feel like he's kind of a diamond in the rough a little bit.
Did he play much in the playoff series?
No, he didn't.
So
I think he's fallen out of favor there.
Does he have the playoff chops,
Yeah.
that some of these other guys have? But that's an intriguing upside play.
Yeah, he's 28, so he's been in the league for a little. I think there's more there, though, than he's shown. I'd be intrigued if the Nuggets could land him.
Be interesting if he's more of a minimum or MLE type of guy.
Yeah. And number one, I mean, we all know it's Bruce Brown. The deal's already done, inked, sealed, completed.
Come home, Bruce.
I think there are players on this list that might be better than Bruce Brown, but I do think what this team maybe needs more than anything is a culture reset and a vibes reset and somebody to be here who knows this team and knows this locker room, and that's Bruce Brown Jr.
He'd make me feel a lot better about the bench, about the secondary ball handling, about the backup point guard duties. He would resolve so many of my concerns going into this offseason.
Yeah. So that's my list of 10. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe I'll put this on a graphic. Maybe this will be fluid and update.
Let's do it.
As we go through the draft and enter free agency. But, yeah, those are the 10 guys I came up with.
Legend.
All right, let's hit another break. On the other side, we will get to our diehards. I know we already got a bunch in the waiting room.
Amazing.
We will get to those after this.
It's coming. It's coming. Voila. I just want to shout out the Hall of Fame app. What is the Hall of Fame app? That's right. We've been using it. We got the hookup during the playoffs, and I was using it to build up all sorts of parlays, see what the best props were on my favorite sports book. You name it. It's a one-stop website app for you to use for any sort of sports wagering you're interested in. You can track all sorts of different trends, and it's not just team trends, it's player trends. They have a whole parlay assister. Always feels like you're throwing in that last leg of the parlay, and you're not really doing yourself you're not really helping yourself because you're value hunting or what have you. This is a smart, informed, educated way to go about it with your props. You can connect your account through the HOF app to your own sportsbook apps. They have a ton of sportsbooks available on the app or website. And you can find data on MLB, NBA, NFL, NHL, college sports, you name it. Their reviews are insane. They've had over 6,000 five-star reviews. They've got a 4.9 rating in the App Store with that volume of reviews. It's really impressive what they're building over there. Is super cool to see. When I've used it, it's super fun, super extensive, and very easy to use. For a limited time only, our listeners not only get a 7-day free trial, but they also get 50% off their first month when they use code DNVR at checkout. Just download the HOF app in iOS and Android, or visit hofbets.com, enter code DNVR, and you're all set.
Guys, HelloFresh makes it easier to fit quick home-cooked meals into your schedule every week.
Oh.
They've got curated, delicious recipes that will get delivered right to your door. Let me know if any of these sound good. Panko-crusted chimichurri.
Whoa.
Barramundi. I don't even know what that is. Sun-dried tomato grilled cheese. I know what that is.
There you go.
Seasonal snacks, sides, and treats. Look, summer is a great time to get set up with HelloFresh.
Awesome.
If you're looking to change up your routine, maybe not go out to eat as much, cook more at home, HelloFresh is a great option. Every HelloFresh meal uses high-quality ingredients, including seasonal fresh produce, proteins that travel from the farm to your doorstep. And every recipe, every meal comes with simple, easy-to-follow recipe cards or simple heat 'em and eat 'em options. Choose from 60 recipes every week, including prep and bake and ready-made meals, plus 100-plus market items to add on to breakfast, lunch, and more, delivered right to your doorstep. Make your summer more enjoyable and delicious by signing up for HelloFresh. HelloFresh.com/Nuggets10FM and get 10 free meals with a free item for life. Nuggets 10FM, the FM for free meals. Get 10 free meals with a free item for life. That's at HelloFresh.com/Nuggets10FM. And you get those 10 free meals and a free item in every box. HelloFresh.com/Nuggets10FM. One per box with an active subscription. Free meals are applied as a discount on the first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. Again, if you're looking to maybe, spice things up in the kitchen this summer, if you're cooking the same stuff every week, if you're trying to cut down on how much you go out to eat, check out HelloFresh. Tons of great options, mouth-watering options. Southwest-inspired chicken bowl. That sounds pretty good.
Their recipes are fantastic.
Check them out. All right, back here on the DNVR Nuggets podcast, live from the Toyota Lounge. Harrison Wind, Andre Simone here. Let's go to our diehards. I know they've been waiting for a while here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I believe first up, we got our guy Gino, who was actually in here before we even went live.
That's right. We were chatting it up with Gino.
We were talking with Gino before the show even started. Here he is. What's going on, man?
Doing well. How are you?
We're doing great.
Doing awesome.
Another beautiful day in Denver, Colorado.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a scorcher. We were talking about this with Gino off air.
Yeah.
It's going to be glorious. You coming to the Rockies game, Gino?
No,
it's okay
probably
to say
not
no.
in this
no
heat.
worries. Yeah,
I'm
worries.
sure the heat is not going to make that very outdoor stadium that pleasant today.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, anyways, man, what's on your mind?
Right now, I'm just looking forward to finding out who's on the Summer League team, honestly. Because up until now, we've had like 5 guys, at least, who we knew were going to Summer League, at least. This year, it's going to be interesting. We know Holmes, I think, is going. And then it might be a lot of, I guess, two-way guys or two-way options, maybe. Who might make it?
So if you're talking about guys on the roster, I think Holmes is aiming to play like that's the plan. Hopefully he'll play in a couple games.
Yeah. Could be a big summer for Trey Alexander.
You think about the two-way guys from last year, Trey Alexander, PJ Hall, Spencer Jones.
Yep.
Those guys you're probably looking at as well. I'm excited to see Spencer Jones. I hope the Nuggets keep him around. He's the really two-way guy I'm most intrigued by. So I hope they're there. We were talking about this on the show the other day. Is there a chance Hunter Tyson plays? I mean, I know he's going into his 3rd year. That typically means you don't play at Summer League, but he's played such few minutes.
I think.
What's the downside?
Yeah. I don't think he makes the cutoff of we've seen enough.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's not the summer of Zeke anymore. Gino, do you have like an ideal undrafted free agent? Are you like a hardcore guy? Because that's what I've been doing lately. Like Hunter Salis was a guy from Wake Forest that had he stayed in the draft a year ago, I actually think would have been in consideration for the Lace first. Peyton Sanford from Iowa is a shooter who's in that same range, who I think they could get as an undrafted guy. Nemhart's little brother could go undrafted. Yep, he's coming out.
I think the good news, if you're looking for a optimistic take on the Nuggets draft, they don't have any draft picks. I don't think they're trading into the draft. All their focus can be on the two-way guys they sign after.
Come on, man.
They can just be locked into that the whole time.
Yeah, whatever guy is in the GM seat or whatever scouts survive, they are dialed in on that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm personally not a huge college guy, so like I usually find out after the draft from y'all just like who actually was good, what is the optimistic case for them, who do they kind of look like. But I'm just hoping to see growth from the guys on the roster because I don't see a lot of room for another developmental guy. Like the two-way guys, maybe they get a few minutes here and there, but I just don't see. Watson needs to play a bunch. Like Pickett hopefully will play, or they get a backup who's so good that it makes it hard to play him. It seems like it's got to be the guys who are already there. And then, Trey Alexander and some of the two-ways that are already on the team or were last year, I wouldn't mind seeing some of them again because it seems like some of them might be hard to keep if you don't offer them the two-way contract or a chance to move up to the varsity.
For sure. And I mean, Trey, to me, both the need of a backup point guard, the fact that he's another guy who probably was undervalued in last year's draft and overvalued in previous drafts, which he didn't come out for, and then had a really like promising G League season.
He was G League Player of the Year or Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. So what, I mean, internally, you must be hearing decent things about Trey as a guy who might have a shot.
Trey Alexander's intriguing. He's just so skinny, man. And
long.
I don't know what type of defender he's going to be. I really like the idea of him and the upside of him as a scorer.
Yeah.
I think he could develop into that. Tough for me to see him like contributing next season, though. Unless he just explodes this summer. I don't know.
Well, and Jones is the fun one, and then PJ, you know, I mean, they said they had a first-round grade on PJ last year.
That's what I was told, yeah.
But, you know, does that matter at all? I don't think
anybody else.
Right. Are any of those scouts still employed, you know? Like, so that first-round grade might have really sunk lately. Yeah, not great.
You got a question or anything else, Gino?
I guess we don't know anything about GM. I guess, what do you think about one Ben Simmons as a free agent who might be a minimum in terms of just like swing for the fences? He could be awful. He also is one of the most talented guys who could be had for a minimum.
Yeah.
He's at least been an all-star.
It's a great question. He's a guy I thought about putting on the list. I think he'd be decent here. Like, to be honest, he was decent with the Clippers last year. And I think he'd be better.
He started
here.
to come along.
Even had a couple moments in the playoffs before he kind of got banished from the rotation. I just think culture-wise and chemistry-wise, where this team is at, you just need everybody pushing in the right direction, everybody on the same page, no hidden agendas, nobody pissed about playing time or anything. I think there's probably some risk of like having him as part of the culture and in the locker room. That's my concern. That's why I left him off my 10. But he's talented, no doubt. I feel like he'd be pretty decent here, to be honest.
Wouldn't he feel like a smidge of like forward Russell Westbrook version?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Well, he won't shoot a bunch. We know that.
He won't. Very unselfish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, could he be your backup five? Small ball backup five, Ben Simmons. Recreate Jokic that way off the bench. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Gino, thanks for hopping on, man. Good talk with you.
Thank you.
Legend, Gino.
Thank you. Have a
True
good one.
G. You too. Have a great weekend.
All right, I think we got our guy Mace. What's up, man?
Afternoon, fellas. Happy Spirit Week Casual Friday.
For sure. How's your week been?
It's been good, man, but I am ready for the weekend, that's for sure.
Nice.
Me too, man.
We finishing up work? We taking a little break here to call the fellas? What you got going on right now?
Yeah,
we don't have to say here either. We can also say no comment. You know, no worries here.
I'm on Eastern time here, so just wrapping up my work day.
Oh,
nice. Beautiful.
Love that for us.
Well, what's on your mind, man? What's going through your head about the Nuggets right now?
Well, Adam's prediction from earlier this week has come to fruition. We still don't have a GM, and we're, draft is Wednesday, so that's definitely on the forefront of my mind.
For sure, man. I mean, like I said earlier,
it's wild.
I've never seen anything like this. Like this GM vacancy / search that's happening. Usually there's some noise, there's some rumblings of what the Nuggets are up to. They're keeping everything quiet, I think on purpose. I think there is some search going on, but I don't think they're like that worried about the timeline because they're not doing anything in the draft. And again, I don't think that's the right approach.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of stuff going on throughout the league that night. But I just think like they're taking their time and they're trying to find the exact right people and hires to fill out the front office.
Yeah, I mean, didn't Shams have a report or an unofficial comment or whatever saying that he expects this to be the biggest free agency summer or just the biggest summer in the NBA in a long time?
Yep.
Like, that just sits with me, and I think, even if we don't have any draft picks, there's constantly sliding pieces around the league. People are going to be trading picks, trading players. There's big free agents out there. And I feel like you would want, somebody at the helm to be able to represent the Nuggets in any of those conversations. Something could pop up that, nobody had initially accounted for. And I feel like you would want somebody, prepared to go to say, yeah, let's get on this while it's hot.
Absolutely. And that's the reason why I say
100%.
Ideally, you do want everybody in place right now. Like running the draft in the draft room for the Nuggets, I assume Josh Kroenke will be there. He's been in the room for the last several drafts, I believe.
Yeah.
He's always the final decision maker, or he approves the final decision, however you want to say it. I mean, Ben Tenzer will be there as the interim GM. They still have a decent amount of bodies in the front office. It's not a full front office by any means, but they will still have people there. So
How's that scouting staff looking?
I think they still have most of their scouts.
Okay, that's
do.
good. That's good.
So there will be people to take the calls, but you're right. It might not be the president of basketball operations might not be there to give his take.
That's not ideal. And I mean, prognosticated to be the biggest free agency in a while. It's also a draft where the Mavs and Spurs have top 3 picks. The Rockets and Thunder, the top 2 seeds in the West, will be drafting in the top 16. Like the rest of the conference is getting better, is getting more competitive, and it's happening this week. And other teams don't even know who to call if they want to try and figure out a trade with you. It's just
I think
not ideal.
That part of it I think is a little overblown. They know who to call.
You call Ben.
Yeah.
He's got the tag. He's had the tag long enough. We know who to call.
I saw that, and I think that's a little overblown.
Okay.
Like, you can get in touch with the Nuggets if you need to. But yeah, it's not an ideal situation. You got a question for us, Gino, or not Gino, Mace, or anything else before you get out of here?
Yeah, I got a hypothetical question for y'all.
Okay.
So let's take the Pacers and the Thunder and remove their top 2 players. So in my opinion, that's Halliburton, Siakam, Shea, and Jalen Williams. If you could take one player from each team to put on the Nuggets right now, which player are you taking?
It's a good question. So take out the top 3 players from each team. Let's start with the Thunder. I know who I'm taking.
Lay it on us.
Alex Caruso.
It's a good pick.
Yeah. What about you?
It's a really good pick. I'd probably go Case and Wallace.
Really?
I was in
my number 2 pick was going to be
with
Chet.
Case and Wallace.
Chet was going to be my second choice.
Chet's a really good one. Chet makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I the upside, the 3-and-D, the fact that he could help you. I mean, to me, there's like a few things the Nuggets need: a backup big, a little more 3-and-D help. But I would love like a shifty ball handler. I would love someone that's exactly what gives us trouble in the playoffs. And he was locking Jamal down. So Case and Wallace would be an amazing addition.
Well, that's why I'm taking Nembhard from the Pacers.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
Cannot
about you,
disagree
man? What
with
about
that.
you, Mace? Who you got?
Yeah, my pick's absolutely Nembhard. I mean, he has just been stellar. I feel like he's such a winner. He's been locking down Shea on that side of the court. And then he's just had some crazy shots. First of all, he can get his own shot, and he's just an awesome creator. Like, I feel like every time, they're giving him the ball in the clutch sometimes over Halliburton, which I think just speaks to, how adept he is as a player. And then I think for the Thunder, I agree with y'all's take. I mean, a backup 5 or like a backup big man is super important.
Chet.
It's got to be Chet, or I mean, do you consider bringing back iHeart? Is that something that you guys would think?
Wow, would you consider?
I mean,
Hardenstein?
Sure. I mean, absolutely, if you could. But I would rather Chet, just for his shot blocking and his defense.
Yeah, and then kind of the other guys they've got. I mean, 2 ideal franchises to do this with, too. Like, if there was an expansion draft coming up, those would be like the top 2 teams you'd want to pick from, because their depth is just like, I'd take Ben Mathurin, like sign me up. happy to have him on my team. Happy to have Obi Toppin. Like, so many of those guys would just be perfect.
Yeah. All right, good talking with you, Mace. Thanks for popping on.
Have a great weekend,
same
man.
to y'all. Have a good weekend.
Take it easy. Serbia. It's D-line.
My guy.
You're muted, I think.
We can't hear you.
I think you're muted. Yeah, I think it's your end. Oh, no.
Oh,
yeah, we can't hear you.
We can't make it work.
All right,
Bless you, Eric. Oh, the ultimate diehard there. That was incredible. Ish, how's it going?
Our guy Ish.
Oh, hello.
What's going on,
Hey.
man?
Where did D-Line go?
That's a great question. He was on, and then we couldn't hear him.
We
So
couldn't hear him. Producer could hear him on her computer, but we can't hear him on the monitor.
Producer could not hear him.
Oh.
Yeah. Got some audio issues. Maybe he'll pop back on in a second. But what's going on?
Let's hope.
Oh, nothing much. Just enjoying my Friday.
Yeah. It's hot out. Are you outside? It's like 90 degrees out.
Yeah, it's hot. Yeah, it's not. It's gonna. At least it's not gonna be like 100 like it is gonna be tomorrow. So.
Is it supposed to be 100 tomorrow? Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's actually
That's what I
98 right now on my iPhone weather app, the most trusted weather app out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, it's baking outside.
Yeah. What's going on?
Yeah.
What's on your mind these days?
Oh, nothing. Just this annoyance that like I'm watching some of the finals. To be completely honest, I haven't been watching super closely the finals.
Yeah.
But I always try to watch a closeout game because, it could be the last game. And I watched yesterday, and I just kept thinking to myself, man, we were really that close. I think we were closer than we thought we were this year, just watching it all.
Yeah.
So, but it's been great.
I know, man. Are you at like a horse track or something? I don't know what's going on in the background there.
Is that other callers we're hearing, or is that Ish? That's Ish.
Anyways, yeah. No, I'm with you, man.
Games 4 and 5 will haunt me forever.
Games 4 and 5 will haunt us forever.
Forever.
Because the Nuggets should have won that series.
Yeah.
The Aaron Gordon injury. I mean, if he is healthy, who knows how Game 7 goes? It's just, ugh.
It's been a good series to be reminded, though. Like, yeah, this Thunder team wasn't as unbeatable as maybe we thought post that Game 7. Like, their offense does have some flaws. You force them into a half-court game, they're not perfect. And they were... With the zone, they were this close to pulling that off. Just not enough.
And then who knows what happens against Minnesota? Who knows? But
yeah, I mean, with AG's injury, that would have been really tough, I think.
yeah, it's too bad though.
It is
Brutal.
too bad. I think like I initially predicted Oklahoma City to win against Indy in 5, and
Yeah, me
to
too.
Indiana's credit, they're not only are they a lot better than I thought they were, but I think I overestimated how good Oklahoma City was, honestly. So, but yeah, shout out to them. Now that they're this far, I want them to finish it off. We can wait on our GM news till next week.
I know. Everybody's been like, man, maybe they're hiring somebody from the Thunder or the Pacers. That's why it's taking
I
so
mean,
long.
that'd be really cool.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
I'm completely convinced that we're gonna get the news like the day or a day two after the finals, basically.
Right. So probably, I mean, could they drop it over the weekend? All right, wait, when is Game 7? Monday? It's Sunday?
I think it's Sunday.
Game 7 is Sunday. So yeah, maybe they drop it Monday.
I'm honestly just happy they didn't drop it today while no one else could be on the show but me, That was my biggest fear, was that all the fellas were off but Harrison, and it was dropping like during a diehard call, and so far so good.
Yeah.
So I'd take that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
you
we'll
think
see.
it happens before the draft?
Yeah, I think they know their guy. I think they're just waiting for some reason until the finals over. That's my theory, at least. if we go through if we get through draft day and we still don't have a GM, then I have no idea what's happening.
Yes, exactly.
So,
exactly, for sure.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see, man. Any final thoughts on your end?
Oh, I got requested to ask this specific question
Okay.
for you guys. So there was an interesting conversation in the Discord today about comparing the Nuggets to Santa and his reindeer, and whether or not Jokic is Rudolph. Would he be leading in the front, or would he be a reindeer in the back?
Okay.
And then who would the other Nuggets players be reindeer-wise? And who's Santa? Is Santa Jokic, or is Santa Adelman? Or
I assume Santa would be Jokic
I think
in this
Santa's
scenario.
Jokic.
Yeah. We revolve around him.
Yeah.
All right, if Jokic is Santa,
Who would be
then
Rudolph if
then.
Jokic is Santa?
I know. Is Rudolph Mr. Nugget material, or is there more of a we thought he was just this and then he became that?
I mean, in an ideal world, Rudolph is Jamal Murray. That's in an ideal world.
Right. Jamal Murray's nose hasn't been shiny enough these last 2 seasons.
I don't know. Does Rudolph come into Christmas out of shape every year and then
Right.
ramp himself up?
Right. Well, I mean, maybe, Rudolph was getting bullied as a youth, so it took him a sec to get into Rudolph mode,
Yeah, I mean, what's even the backstory on Rudolph? I'm honestly not super familiar.
Well, he's everyone made fun of him because he was weird and he was different from everyone else with a glowy red nose.
Oh, right.
And then
Santa was like,
And then Santa saw his potential and then made him the head ring. That's why there was an argument on why Rudolph is Jokic.
Yeah, I mean,
that
if we're just keeping it to reindeer, it would be Jokic. But if Santa is an option, he's probably more Santa. Man. He could be both, though.
Rudolph is really a guy who came through in the fight. Rudolph might be Adelman. When the times were the darkest, when the storm was most severe, he stepped up when people expected it the least, right? I'm not sure. Is that CB? It might be AG's 3-point shooting. The way he turned it around in the postseason and this season, maybe that's a Rudolph-esque quality.
Yeah. But I mean, it's probably
I didn't even
Jokic.
think about that.
AG might be Miss Santa or Prancer. That's Prancer feels like a real leader of the group. Mrs. Thank you. Yes, Mrs. Santa. What a great question, Ish. That was a great one.
All right, yep. Thanks, guys. Take it easy.
Have a great weekend.
Talk to you next week.
Enjoy the sun.
Yep, see ya.
All right. Oh, and he's back.
Can we hear me?
Yes,
We can hear you now.
Let's go.
Yeah. Wow, this is difficult to send you stuff. I never realized this before. Fellas, how's it going?
My
It's
God.
going great, man. Just wrapping up a casual Friday. And, heading to the Rockies game later. How you doing?
I can't believe there's 12 fellas on the show and everyone bailed. How could you have a Friday with no one available when there's 45 people on the show?
I know, man.
I don't. Kale's
insane.
not even producing. It's nuts.
It's absolutely insane. Dude, we're in the deep off season.
We really are.
We are.
How's Serbia been?
As you know, every time I come to Serbia, I could literally be on the moon or under the water. I don't leave this room. It doesn't matter where it is. I'm still on Denver time. Christina's asleep. She's been asleep for hours. So I'm really it's really just more about leaving Denver than it is about going to Europe.
Right. Your life doesn't change. You're just operating in a different time zone.
Yeah, I'm just in a different room, basically.
You've been transported rooms.
It's his own Serbian art hole over there. It's as we left him.
All right. So I just have to say, I have been who can think about anything except for the GM search for the Denver Nuggets? I am fully now in conspiracy mode. I am fully convinced that the reason that there hasn't been a GM hired is because it's either Bob Myers or somebody on the Pacers, and I think it's Bob Myers. I swear to God, I think it's Bob Myers. That's where I'm at.
All right, let's hit overtime real quick. If you're watching on our fast channels, check us out, thednvr.com. You think it's Bob Myers?
Would you
I don't know, man.
Bob Myers?
It's not about what I want. What I wanted was a GM to be hired about a month ago. Like, I don't know what I'm trying to put any kind of sense together. Nothing makes any sense to me.
Here's how I tried to explain it earlier. And again, this doesn't make 100 complete sense. But I don't think the Nuggets are operating on a timeline of we have to get everybody in place before the draft. I just don't think they're on that timeline. I think the process has been slow, probably a little slower than they've wanted, but they're just placing a higher priority on hiring the right people for president to fill out the front office, whatever it might be. And
but how can
like that is taking priority over getting it done before the draft.
Not hearing a single word about it also. I mean, this is insane. Mum is the word. We're not hearing a single candidate being mentioned. It's so bizarre that I'm left to only go to conspiracy theories at this point.
I mean,
you're not wrong for going that way.
At this point, they write themselves, though, right? And depending on who the hire is and when it's made, and it'll all be like, oh, yeah, it was so clear. They were waiting for X to free up for the Thunder Pacers season to end, or they were waiting for Bob Myers, or they were... What wouldn't make sense at this point, what I couldn't explain to you is if you told me they announced Ben Tenzer tomorrow.
Oh,
then I'd be like, well, that makes
to me
no
that
sense.
The search was a disaster.
That he was not first or second choice if he's announced this, right?
Or they just forgot that they were supposed to be doing it.
They're like our agency who's like, oh, God, the NBA draft's in a week. We got to make these graphics. Like, what the hell? What no one told us? You think Josh is the same way? Where Ben's like, hey,
damn,
buddy, so the draft
diabolical.
is Wednesday. You want to make that? He's like, what? Wednesday?
Okay, one other question for you fellas. Well, first off, I just want to call out in the chat, both Achy Dragon and who else said that they would be good with Andre taking my spot. You both get, we're on overtime, right? You can both get fucked. Anyway,
yeah, rude. I stand by Eric.
You
on
don't,
that
you
one,
don't have to
actually.
write the report, Tiff. Don't write it.
Do not write the report. Just kick those motherfuckers out of our fucking chat and tell them never to come back. F, marry, kill. Both of your beautiful wives that you are married to. Sydney Sweeney or Adam Mares. F, marry, kill. Let's hear.
That is a diabolical question.
Yeah, it writes itself.
I got to kill Adam.
Yeah, you kill Adam, you stay married to your wife, and I guess...
Are you expecting us to answer in a different way?
No, I just wanted it on the record that you both are plotting to kill Adam.
That sounds wrong.
What about you, D-Line?
Yeah, D-Line. Your fiance,
I
Sydney Sweeney, and Adam Mares. Go.
Okay, obviously I would have sex with Adam Mares. I think most people in the chat are thinking that way. I would kill my fiance, and I would. I guess I'd marry Sydney Sweeney, who I don't even like. But listen, like the game is the game.
Wow, what a question to close out Casual Friday.
Yeah, now that I heard that answer, I think we actually do have to write the report. D-Line's answer actually took us into report writing. So that's how I'll spend my Friday. I'll send that to you when you start going to sleep in Serbia. No problem, D-Line. Hey, and get on those draft graphics, okay?
What a treat, fella. Actually, the draft graphics are done. They
oh my
great.
gosh.
Credit Sydney, who's Sydney Pinger.
Not Sweeney.
Not Sweeney.
Not Sydney. I needed to make it that clear after that segment that I just brought forth. Yes. It's going to be great. Even though the Nuggets do not have a pick, it's still going to be worthwhile to check in. It's always nice to hear about how other things that are happening in the draft somehow affect the Nuggets tangentially. And who knows? We may actually have a GM at that point. We'll see.
We may not. Yeah, no draft picks, but I mean, we'll have a draft show. We'll be live all around 1, and then during parts of round 2, reacting to everything that happens from a Nuggets perspective. Maybe Kevin Durant finally gets traded, although it seems like the Suns are.
Nuggets.
It seems like the Suns are fumbling that somehow as well. So we'll see.
Bro, I swear to God, I can't imagine giving up any kind of bag for Kevin Durant. It seems like an insane notion at this stage in his career. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah. Well, what seems like is happening with this Durant trade is there have been so many leaks, I think a lot from Phoenix, and the market has realized that the Suns have to trade him. And so now the offers are getting worse. Well, and they've been so public with this whole thing, it's actually fucked them.
Total. This is what happens. Like as soon as negotiations become public, which you definitely looked at Kevin Durant's side as the ones that perpetrate that, then the Suns lose a good portion of their leverage.
The Suns mess up.
They have to get rid of it
for most things.
He is 36.
Yeah.
Like his market should not be this outrageous.
He had his best season in like his last 4 seasons last year, though.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Hey, I'm on an island. I feel like I could talk myself into Durant on the Nuggets. Nobody else here is though.
We could talk ourselves into just about anything.
But I'm just saying, like I don't think Durant on the Nuggets would be a bad thing. I think it'd be freaking awesome, actually. But
if you're not sacrificing like 2/3 of your 2/5 of your starting lineup, right. I'd agree. Yeah.
And again, I don't know if they have an offer that can get in the ballpark because they don't really have any firsts that they can trade right now. But
right.
I'm on the side of I'd be cool with Durant on the Nuggets.
Vet minimum, just like we just got his compatriot Russell Westbrook for. It seems like that should be the same vibe, right?
Yeah, force Phoenix into a buyout and a minimum contract. That'd be ideal.
All right, D-Line, good talking with you. We got to get out of here, man.
Bless you, D-Line.
See ya.
Love you, buddy.
Guys, thanks for hanging out with us on this Casual Friday. Thanks to all the diehards who joined the show today.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Dre, thanks for hanging out with me. Tiff, thanks for producing.
Thank you.
And we'll see if we get any news on the Nuggets front office this weekend.
Maybe while you guys are having a fun time drinking on the rooftop, it'll break.
Sure, yeah,
that'd be
Friday
perfect
night news
timing.
dump.
Yep.
Either way, we'll be back on Monday. Talk to you guys then.
We all silly like the mayor.